Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a new video with me, Fuzzball40. As always, if you're new around here, please do subscribe down below. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you never miss an upload. Check me out on Twitch, that is where I live stream most days. And also click the link down below, go over to the Discord server. It is completely free to join. Loads of people in there now, it's absolutely insane. Check out my Twitter, and if you haven't done it yet, make sure you check out the first of my new FIFA collab series, which is FIFA 21 Deal or No Deal. First video went live yesterday with Thirsty Games. Did not go well for me on my channel, but there's also one over on his channel as well, so make sure you check him out. But this video is all about the Black Friday market crash. I want to sort of talk to you guys about the market at the moment and where the market's at, and I want to show you last year's crash, so you get an idea of what actually happens around Black Friday. I really hate this mentality that you see every single time it's Black Friday. You see certain content creators come out and scream about how the market's about to crash and you're all about to lose loads of coins and everything's going to be a catastrophe. And I want to show you the fact around Black Friday, as opposed to the nonsense that you see from people. That's not to say the market isn't very low at the moment. It's down a lot. But that happens every year. And the reason that happens is because people tend to sell off in anticipation of a Black Friday market crash that rarely ever comes. So I'm going to show you some stuff on the game itself, talk about the state of the game at the moment in terms of the market and all that sort of stuff. Then I'm going to show you FUTTRADING and show you some graphs from last year, some graphs from this year, and explain what I'm going to be doing over the next few days to make coins and to limit my risk. Is basically the best way of putting that. So we're going to head over to the game, going to explain a couple of things to you, and then we'll be on FUTTRADING. I'll be right back. Short of FUTTRADING.co.uk intro, let's go. FUTTRADING.co.uk is a website built by myself and Dan, aka V273, where we help you guys make millions of coins on the FIFA transfer market for the price of a cup of coffee each week. Tier 1 gets you access to special buy-in prices with shadow cards. It is an incredibly effective way to trade on this game. Hunters are to follow. We also have buy-in prices for gold cards with shadows and hunters on them, so you can buy them, sell them, flip them, make profit. Silver buy-in prices, including a spreadsheet that literally tells you what to buy those cards for when we get silver supply with every single profitable silver filter on FIFA 21. And icon buying prices for over, I think, nearly 100 icons we're getting towards now, which is an awesome tool for you guys. The buy prices, the sell prices. For £15 a month, you get access to Tier 2, which gives you access to live filters. These are instant profit filters that we have gone out and found on the game. High demand filters where you can pick up cards relatively cheaply, flip them on for very big profit. We've got people in the Discord who are sitting on 10 to 15 million coin coin balances already. What are we in? Not even in December yet. So make sure you check out FUTTRADING.co.uk for all your trading needs. But for now, let's get into the video. Alright, so the first thing we have to talk about, and a lot of people have asked me about it, was Fodder investing and why Fodder hasn't really risen that much. And a lot of people invested in Fodder for the simplistic fact that we were getting icon SBCs and that we were getting the base icon that was coming. A lot of people said the base icon was coming and that's why they invested. Now, the reason Fodder hasn't risen is twofold. Firstly, these icons that came on the game, they're okay. They're not terrible icons, but they're also not great. I mean, Figo's a good card, but overpriced for what it is. Van der Sar's good, but there's not that much demand for a baby Van der Sar. And Zanetti's meh. Like, as a right back, is a very meh right back. And you can get better on the game, or more usable ones on the game for a fraction of the price. Look at Nelson Semedo, for example, in the Premier League. So they were very bang average sort of icons. And this is the important thing when it comes down to fodder investing. You need demand for fodder. There needs to be something that's affordable. And with that in mind, we'll talk about this base icon upgrade. Horrendously overpriced. And this is the first thing we'll say. It's 500k plus on both consoles. 285s, an 86 and an 87. About 60% of base icons, slightly more I think now actually, are below the value of this SBC. It is not good value. And so when you're investing in fodder, you're relying upon there to be a good value SBC that a lot of people are going to do. Now if this SBC came in at 300, 350, 400k, and it was repeatable, I think you'd see more people do it. I think you would. But at 500 and something K, number one, the market's limited in terms of the people that are actually going to do it, because I'm not going to do it. I refuse to do this SBC because it's not good value. So why am I going to do it? And also, it's finite. It's limited. There's only so many people that are going to do this, and there's only so many times it can be done. So fodder only has so much demand, and so that's why fodder hasn't really seen the massive rise. Now, there is a chance EA go and release a repeatable base icon once this one ends as part of Black Friday. So if you are holding fodder, you have a choice now, realistically. A lot of it can be gotten out of with tax. You can tax it and take your coins back and whatnot and do that. Or you can hold it for a repeatable. Would I trust EA in terms of holding on to fodder investments? No, I wouldn't. Not in a little bit. But yeah, this is why Fodder isn't rising. And EA this year, it's weird. I'm trying to work out the angle from EA this year because it feels like it's trying to be taken back to the casual player. But by doing that, those that want to grind and those that want to have fun on the game more consistently and longer term are sort of being screwed over by it, because a casual player may go and spend 500k on this SPC for the sake of it. Someone like me, I'm not going to do that. What's the point? Like, I don't see a point in doing this. Most of those base icons I could just go and buy if I want to buy them. So that's why Fodder's in the state it is. But the market in general, it's important to talk about the market in general at the moment, and it is down. It is very, very much down. I want to show you Ferland Mendy, for example. I've been seeing him this morning popping at 63, 64. He's now up at 65. But this is low for him. It's very, very low for him. I'm going to show you the graphs in a minute on FUTBin in terms of players this year. But this is extremely low for Ferland Mendy. He's been holding sort of 100k plus for a long time. Sort of dropped down as low as 80 last week into Weekend League. And now he's down at 64, 65. Now, I'm recording this and you guys are going to see this on Wednesday. Sorry, not Friday. On Wednesday. With Wednesday content drop, I think this card gets even lower. I think there's a chance he does drop off a little bit more. The only thing that's going to change that is people buying into him to sell him with rewards. Now, people will do that and people are going to buy him, and there's a chance that his price rebounds and goes up. And I'm going to show you the graphs, like I say. But I'd be very, very careful right now in investing in anything. The general rule on FIFA is invest when the market is low. It's low. It's very, very low. But the worry that I've got is come Black Friday, when the cards start getting packed and whatnot, there will be a slight drop off in the market before it rebounds. But it's what people are going to be doing with their teams this Weekend League. That's the question for me. Now, for a lot of this year, I've kept a relatively basic, untradeable team. I've got 14-2 on Weekend League this week. Didn't bother playing any more games. I have a feeling a lot of people are going to go lower tier this weekend, lesser tier. Because of this constant talk about a market crash and market panic, for me, lots of people are going to probably go with the lower end teams, and it's going to make the market in sort of these really sort of expensive meta players stay relatively stagnant. I think it will rise, but I don't know if it will rise enough for you to be making profit out of it. Let's say this Mendy gets up to like 70, 75. The profit isn't massive on that. A lot of the time it's just going to be tax. And so you have to be mindful of that, without a doubt. That doesn't mean that I won't buy in. If I see this price get down even lower, potentially I might look at buying in. But what I am doing at the moment is more quick flipping. So I'm doing some special card trading. I've got a lot on my transfer pile at the moment. A huge amount on my transfer pile that I'm looking to basically just shift on. I won't hold these cards for longer than 24 hours. I will tax them if I need to. If you want to know what taxing means, it means I will just sell them. So I'm not making a loss, but I'm not making profit either. I made decent profit last night from some of these cards, but I will just tax them off, get rid of them, and then re-go again each day. I'm not going to hold them up for too long because we don't really know what EA's angle is yet, and so that's important. But that's what I would be looking for right now is quick flips. Whether that's silver cards from the Liga and SBC and Libertadores SBCs, they're really good right now to be flipping. I'd be doing those. Whether it's specials, flipping those overnight with hunters and shadows on them is the most effective way at the moment. And whether it's with icons, if you've got a higher tier budget, things like icons right now. Last night the market got very low on icons with the base icon. I think I was seeing John Barnes' 87 card at points at 285 on Xbox. Last night, by the time I came off, he was back up at sort of 300, 310. So it's decent sort of coins there if you can get him at the lower end. But again, I would just be careful. That's what I would say to you right now. Be mindful. I'm going to try and be fully liquid on Black Friday as much as I possibly can be, but I know I'll get tempted into buying into a few things that I think are too cheap. But I'm going to show you now last year's Black Friday market crash, and then this year where the market's at, and show you the similarities and things like that. So we'll be right back. We'll be back on trusty old FUTBin. Alright guys, so here we are on FUTBin, and I just want to show you some graphs from last year of the relatively meta players, show you the differences in the cards and stuff like that, just to give you an idea. So this was Rafael Varane last year. A lot of people like this year run him in their teams. Black Friday came on the 29th last year of November. Now I'm going to show you what happened in the week before. So he was up at 168. By the Wednesday, he got down as low as 139. So he got up from what's gone down from 168 to 139 by the Wednesday. But then what you see is a climb in the market into Weekend League. So down from 139 up to 161. So if you were buying in at the 139, now there would have been cards that were lower than that. That's an average price. You probably could have picked him up at 130, 135. And you get him up and you sell him at an average of 160, for example. You're looking at 8k tax. On that, you're looking at sort of a good 10 to 15k profit a card. Because people will still buy these cards into Weekend League. And the one thing that people don't talk about when it comes to a thing like loads of packs being opened is, yes, the market dips. But once people sell their cards, it puts coins on the game. It's an injection of coins. So people buy up cards. They make their teams. They build their teams. And cards that are relatively meta, higher end cards, can do relatively well. And they're a bit more resistant to market conditions like that. And so it's something to be mindful of, because it doesn't just... Everyone says, oh, these cards get opened up and the market gets flooded and the market crashes. But those cards do eventually get bought up. And people having coins means they've got more spending power, and they go and spend that on the market, and cards will rise. cards get taken back off again, cards come back up again. Let's show you Kevin De Bruyne from last year. This is him from last year. So on the weekend league and in around the weekend league on the 22nd, up at 228, drops as low as 202, gets as low as sort of 204 for that week into Black Friday. Then come Black Friday and into weekend league, it goes from 204 to 226. So again, you're looking at about what? 11k tax on that, so you're looking at 215. There's about 10k profit a card there. Am I advising you go and invest in these cards right now? No, not necessarily, but I would monitor this market, because if it keeps getting lower, I probably will buy into a few of them. Because, especially these higher end meta cards, you can see this crash that everyone talks about isn't really a crash. It's nonsense. I'm going to be blunt, it's nonsense. This doesn't mean these cards don't come down in price. They do. There is an initial drop when those cards get opened up in the market. And these are average prices. These are not what the cards were selling for specifically. There is a drop in the market when packs get opened up. That's the same for any time that you look at supply on a game. Loads of them come on, people undercut, market comes down. Let's show you Virgil van Dijk from last year. Again, massively meta centre-back. And you look, on the weekend league before it, he's down at 518. He's up at 518, sorry. By the Thursdays at 494. Saturday he gets to 517, I think it is there. So not really any profit to make really from where he was at. But no real dramatic market crash. No real massive dramatic market crash. That is just not. The higher end holds up relatively well. However, let's have a look at sort of the lower end. Now, Ferland Mendy, again, last year, relatively meta card. A lot of people used him. It was cheaper last year than he is this year because he was a bit lower rated. But a lot of people used him, that same Varane Mendy link that you see this year. Now let's look at his price. So again, on the sort of Friday, 25,000 coins. By the Tuesday, Wednesday, down at 17,000 coins. He then saw a rebound. Slight rebound into the Friday before climbing to 20. Back down to 18 on the Monday with a sell-off. And then by next weekend league, back up at 23,000 coins again. Now, he is an 80 rated card. Ferland is an 80 rated card. He's going to get packed relatively often. Not this year, because there's 83. He'll probably get packed more often than, say, for example, a Neymar. But he won't get packed as often as... He'll get packed last year. He got packed a lot more often than these higher end meta cards. Jamie Vardy, relatively meta Premier League striker last year. Not overly meta, not the most extremely meta card because the dribbling was so strong last year. But again, if we look at Jamie Vardy's card, at the sort of Saturday, the Friday, Saturday, he actually climbed into weekend league because the lower end cards tend to do this because people put them in their teams. Before really coming down quite heavily into the Friday, 1.7k was the average price on the Black Friday, and got up then on Sunday as high as 2.4. By like next Wednesday up at 3k again before seeing a sort of a dip after that with the market, and it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. But you can see from a low of 1.7 up to 3,000 coins. Now, if you sell him at around that price, you're looking at over 1,000 coins a card profit. Gabrielle Jesus, another one we need to look at. Again, follows a very similar path to Jamie Vardy. All the way up to sort of Tuesday, sort of rebounds from the Thursday at 3,000 coins, all the way up to sort of a 5,300. Then comes down quite heavily into Black Friday and Saturday, 2,800. He gets to a lower before spiking up to 6.1. Now, I'm going to assume at this point here, I can't remember the content last year, but I'm going to assume at this point here, something came out that affected his price, possibly an SBC or something along those lines. Something affected his price for him to get that high. But even if we look at the Thursday, even if you look at the Wednesday, look at anywhere from that low point there of 2.8, he spiked up. Because again, 82 rated card, going to get packed relatively often, loads of supply, big drop before the rebound happens after that. And that sort of gives you an idea of what the market did last year. Higher cards were relatively resistant to the change. Be mindful that the average price you see isn't always the accurate price at that time. There is definitely a drop-off when packs get opened, but they're hardy. The fact that you don't see these dramatic drop-offs on Black Friday says a lot about this massive crash. The lower end does tend to get hit because these cards get packed often. 80 rated, 81 rated, 82 rated cards come out in packs a lot often, obviously, more often than an 87 and 88. So it's something to be mindful of. Now, I want to show you the state of the market this year. So this is Gabrielle Jesus for this year, 83 rated. I want to show you what he's done on the daily graph. And again, he's come down. He is down. So on Xbox at the moment, 12,750. This doesn't really tell you that the whole story, basically. But on Sunday, he was as high as nearly 16,000 coins. He's down at 12,750 on Xbox. It's a 3,000 coin drop-off. So what we're looking at that, just under 20% of a drop-off in this Gabrielle Jesus. Now, tonight is Wednesday. 6 p.m. content comes out, and historically, if you look at the other cards here, a lot of the time Wednesday was where they got lower. That's what the higher end cards sort of got into. Where's the best example of this? Sort of like, there you go. So Raphael Varane, for example, they got low on the Wednesday and whatnot before climbing into weekend league. Gabrielle Jesus again, if you look at him, he's low, wasn't he, on Wednesday? He got lower and lower and lower. I wouldn't advise buying. I've seen people put the market crash saying buy in. I've seen people saying it's going to crash, sell everything, panic. I just want to monitor the market. I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be monitoring and seeing how low this Gabrielle Jesus gets. And see if he gets somewhere. So I mean, the lower he had at some point was 11,250 last night. 11,250 going into today. He's rebounded a little bit. Not a massive rebound again. Nothing to make coins on. Ferland Mendy. This is the big dramatic drop. So he has held value so well this year. He's been relatively resistant. As you can see, peaks and troughs into Weekend League. It's literally such an easy card to read usually. But last Sunday got very, very low. And then this Friday didn't really see a dramatic rebound. Now, he got down as low. I was picking him up for 73, I think. 72, 73 into Weekend League. And then hit Weekend League. I was selling for like 83, 84 with shadow on him. So it was decent profit on him. But look at this drop off on him. It's astronomical. It's happened last week. And it's happened again this week. The drop off in Ferland Mendy is big. It is a big, massive drop off. Now, I've been seeing it at 61, 62 at times this morning. Does that mean I'm going to buy into him? No. But I am going to monitor what he does today. And I'm also going to monitor what he does tomorrow. Because if this card continues to drop, I can't see him holding that low. He links to too many cards. He's French. He links to Varane. He links to Longley. He links to a lot of people. But do I think people this weekend are thinking, like, I'm going to go out and buy a 65,000 coin left back with the panic on this market crash? I'm not so sure. I do think he rebounds. But for him to rebound to decent profit, you need to be looking at sort of 75 as a rebound price for it to be worth your time to be buying into this card. 72, 73 even is not too bad. But if, for example, he gets from the lower 64 at the moment and gets up to sort of 70,000 coins, you come to selling, you're making 2,500 coins a card. Is it really worth it? Not really. You can do that for special card that costs you 12,000 coins. You can do that with silvers on a Thursday that costs you 1,000, 2,000 coins. And so I'd be mindful of that with Ferland Mendy. And then the other card that I looked at last year was Marcus Rashford for this. Now I just want to show you his graph. Now again, pacey, meta, striker. Let me just quickly get it up for the dates from last year to give you a sort of more of a accurate representation of it. So again, low on, like Tuesday he sort of sit at 15. Come the Friday and the Saturday got as low as 7,900 coins. Again, an 83 rated card packed relatively often. His rebound was pretty nice, up to 10,000 coins. So again, your tax on a 10,000 coin spend is 500 coins. So if you're buying it at low as 7.9, you're looking at about 1.5k profit a card. The rebound's relatively nice there. But it's reading the market at the moment. And again, it comes down to what risk you want to take and what risk you don't want to take. For me, the play's probably going to be on Black Friday itself, looking at those lower end meta cards and buying into those, holding for a few days and selling them on if that's what you're going to do. That to me is the play here. Is it an exact science? No. Are you guaranteed to make profit? You never are with trading. But that to me is where the market's going to be at. I just don't see... If you look at the higher ends last year, there wasn't that much profit to be made by them. Like really, there wasn't a huge amount of profit to be made in them in sort of a short-term gain at all. But I do want to be take a little bit of pinch of salt with this whole Black Friday market crash thing. The panic comes now. The panic is now if people sell off because of the Black Friday crash. It comes now. On Black Friday itself, cards will see a dip. The lower end especially will see a dip because they'll get packed often. That's your opportunity to buy in. What would I be doing on a game right now? I'd be looking for instant, quick flips. I would not be looking to hold on to anything for too long. The only thing that is relatively hardy against that are silver cards because they're not really affected usually by market conditions and changes like that. So on Thursday, you probably are okay to buy in and sell on to the Friday. But again, on Thursday, I'd be looking for even better deals than we'd look for normally on silver cards, purely because there is a chance, for example, that with the lightning rounds on Black Friday, EA released rare Electrum packs and there's a lot of supply of silvers. So on Thursday, I'd be looking for a really, really, really low buy on silvers. Normally we say sort of 40%, I'd be looking at 50, 60%. That's where I'd be looking to buy into my silvers at. I'd also be looking for where the most demand is, and that tends to be in the Libertadores and Sudamericana SBCs, as opposed to the Liga. And there is demand there, but that market took quite a bit of time to rise this week. But that's where I think the plays are this week. Instant quick flips this for during the week, monitoring the market and whatnot, and then looking sort of tonight into Thursday into Friday what the market does, and then seeing if there's an opportunity there if cards get too low. And then for me, the lower end is where I'm probably going to look on Black Friday itself, because that I think we'll see the biggest hit, a relatively heavy hit before bouncing back of 2 or 3 days later. That is what the data shows us. That is what it says to us from last year. A dip and a climb. Jamie Vardy, a dip and a climb. Gabrielle Jesus, a dip and a climb. Marcus Rashford, again, dip and a climb. That's what the data shows us. Markets on different games are different, but that's where I see it this year. That's what I'm going to be doing probably. But I'll be doing this all live on stream anyway. You'll be able to see this all, me doing it as the market goes on. Friday's a big day for it, so I'm excited for it. But that is going to be the end of the video. As always, if you're new around here, make sure you do subscribe down below. Turn your notifications, all that good stuff, so you never miss an upload. Check out FIFA 21 Deal or No Deal. Got some awesome guests coming up on it. It's going to be really, really good fun. But for now, lads, I'm out. Peace out. Speak to you soon.